PLC Network here with another unboxing, this time coming from the company XGIMI. And this is the company's latest flagship projector, the XGIMI Horizon 20 Max. This is a 4K projector that offers just about everything you could ask for in a projector, including laser. It offers the X-Master RGB triple laser engine inside of it. Nice fancy name that the company has assigned to it. So it's a triple laser projector. Think of it like a 3-chip DLP projector, but with lasers, offering lots of color and depth in terms of your darks, as well as an incredible amount of brightness. By that, this bad boy offers up to 5,700 ISO lumens of brightness. Pretty much one of the brightest consumer projectors out there within this price range, which kind of allows XGIMI to kind of take the win there in terms of first place, given we haven't tested anything yet. So we'll get to that in a moment. But this offers, like I said, everything you'd ask for in a flagship projector, especially coming from XGIMI. If you've had any experience whatsoever with the company, then you know that they are pretty much one of the world leaders when it comes to auto everything, and just providing as much as they can into a small footprint and a reasonable price. We'll put that out there. It's reasonable. So this projector has, like I said, a number of things really going for it. You have Google TV and Google Home built into it. So you have a full Google TV operating system that comes with all of your favorite apps, including Netflix, as well as that Google Home integration, so you can use this to control everything in your home if you're using Google Home as part of your smart home ecosystem. It offers a 20,000-to-1 contrast ratio. It offers a 110% BT 2020 color coverage, as well as IMAX enhanced support, Dolby Vision support, HDR10 Plus support. Yeah, just the features just keep rolling in. And of course, one of the biggest things that gamers are really trying to tap into is that this offers up to 240 hertz refresh rate, while also supporting variable refresh rates that can move up and down to help with performance, assuming that your gaming console or PC can support the same. It also offers filmmaker mode, and of course, like I said, auto everything. So it makes use of the company's latest ISA 5.0. That's what they refer to their technology that is able to auto everything on this projector. I'm talking keystone, focus, object avoidance, alignment, wall color adaptation, and even eye protection. So if you walk in front of the projector while it's going, it'll send it to a black screen with text to say, the image has been dimmed or cut out in order to protect your eyes because somebody has been detected walking in front of the projector. And of course, none of this is really surprising because all of XGIMI's flagship projectors and most of their projectors in general now offer ISA in some form or another. ISA 5.0 is just their latest version. It's enhanced, it's faster, it's better, it's more accurate. So these are some of the things you want to look into in terms of if you've ever been following their technology and where it's come since they first rolled it out. So looking back at the company's last projector, it was phenomenal. What it was able to accomplish for the price was great. This technology changes the game because people are, when you think projection, you're just thinking about how much time you're going to be spending and tinkering to get your image right, to get your keystone right, to get everything just right. When now all you have to do is just turn it on, and within seconds you have a picture that's exactly where you need to, where you need it to be, as well as in focus and not interfering with other things. So if you have a projection screen that has a black border going around it, it'll project the image right there within that screen. If you have no projection screen and you just have a wall with like pictures on it and stuff, it's gonna find the best place within that wall to get the biggest image while not running into any of those objects. Wall sconces, pictures, anything, it'll just try to fill what space it can find with whatever image whatever size of an image it can pull off. And it'll keystone it and everything, it'll focus it for you, all in a matter of seconds. And that's ISA 5.0, the latest version of that technology from XGIMI. And like many of the company's projectors, its audio that's inside, the speakers inside, are from Harman Kardon. It has two 12-watt Harman Kardon speakers inside to help add a little bit better sound when you're not using an external sound system. Of course, if you want any kind of theatrical or living room sound, you're going to want to connect it to a stereo or some kind of external solution, a soundbar, anything to get a little bit more sound out of. But if you just need to set up something really quick, let's say it's in a kid's room and they just want to watch some cartoons, and you just need some basic audio, you have two 12-watt speakers inside from Harman Kardon that you at least know are going to sound good. So then there's the price. We keep saying that one of the biggest features of XGIMI is that they're able to fit all of these features into a flagship while providing it to you at a reasonable price. So that price has always been more than acceptable when it comes to comparing them to some of the other brands out there that you're more commonly used to hearing, like LG and Sony and Samsung and so forth. So like I said, competition is one of the company's strong points. So you would think something like this would probably cost you $5,000 to $10,000, but that's not the case. The prices have gone up a little bit for the company, as it used to be somewhere within the $2,000 range for their flagship, sometimes below, maybe a few $100s more. But now, since the price of global shipping and tariffs and everything else that we have to consider now, ever since the pandemic, so many things have changed. Now everything's gone up a little bit, but still they keep it underneath that expectation. For some of these other brands, again, you'd expect to see a price point of $5,000 to $10,000. For this, it's just $2,999. So $3,000. $3,000 for this projector. And all of those features when you're looking for flagship performance. So you have super bright, lots of apps, lots of features in terms of autofocus and auto everything else. You have, not just lots of apps, but you have Google built into it, providing you an excellent and stable operating system with plenty to choose from, as well as Google Home, so that you can interact with everything else in your house if you're using Google Home. And of course, Google Assistant, so you can just talk to it to determine what you want to watch. You can tell it to find something on YouTube for you or something to take you straight there. There's a lot of flexibility in this projector for a reasonable price tag. And on top of that, the company is giving away a few extras, it looks like, as a kind of a bonus for ordering now, which I believe it's a free floor stand, as well as an Assassin's Creed video game, which is specifically Assassin's Creed Shadows, I believe it is. Yes, Assassin's Creed Shadows. Comes free with it, as well as a stand, which is just a tall stand pretty much, or a medium height stand, kind of like a mic stand. So it's a straight stand that you put the projector on, so that way you can get the exact height and kind of angle that you need to be able to get the picture how you want it on the wall. So what we're going to do now is we're going to open this up. We're going to see what it looks like, what does it come with, and then we're going to hook it up and see what it looks like. So first we're going to open it. And now this is something new that we haven't seen with the XGIMI products yet. So this is kind of cool. There seems to be some kind of a case. Ooh, static. I can feel that below the desk and onto my legs there. This has a case. I've never seen this before. We've seen, again, pretty much every product that XGIMI has ever made. But this series comes with this. Something that allows you to carry it around and keep it safe, which is cool because even their flagship projector, even though you would think this is meant to put into your living room and just set it up and forget it and leave it alone like you would a normal flagship projector, even their flagship projectors are meant to move around. It's the whole point of using the ISA technology is you can just pick it up, move it somewhere else, and now you have an image within seconds. Pick it up, move it somewhere else, now you have an image in a matter of seconds. So why not make that also a portable projector? And that means you might be dragging it around. I know we have. We've got a few here in the studio here that we've made use of through the years and made a lot of use of, and they've appeared in multiple stories because of that. And we've even given some away to some of our readers as we cycle them through as new stuff comes in, so we can continuously test side by side. And I gotta admit, we move them around a lot, or at least we have over the years. And it would have been nice to have a case like this. Usually we just kind of come up with our own. So this was an amazing idea from the company, and it's nice to see this. So it's just a hard shell foam case here. So it's nothing, crazy expensive, fancy or anything like that. Helps to keep the price down. They got their name right here across the top or the front, depending on the orientation of the case that you have it in. On the top here, you have a handle to carry it around with, as well as a latch to open it with. Nice and simple. Inside, it's an instant presentation of the projector and the accessories inside of this box here. Push that over there. Inside this box, you're gonna find some instructions. And this is, let's go ahead and take a look. And you have a warranty one. You just have some technical information here. And then you have your user guide, which is just a fold out, which gives you some information about how to use the remote and the projector itself, how to get through everything. And it's doing it in multiple languages, so you don't have to worry about being, kind of overwhelmed with instructions. This is pretty straightforward. I mean, it's Google TV. If you've ever used a Fire Stick or Google TV or anything of the sort, it'll be pretty obvious on how to use this. So moving on, we have the power cable as well as the brick. And this is one of the few ways they're able to keep the weight down on these projectors. They kind of just take the power brick out of the projector and put it externally. So it does give you a big brick to have to figure out a home for, which, is reasonable and kind of expected in that kind of scenario. But here it is. It's not too bad. It's not too heavy. It's just something to hide behind, the stand or behind a shelf or something. It all depends on how you're going to plan on installing your projector. But in our case, we usually have pop-up stands that we move around, special tripods for projectors. And what we do is we typically just Velcro these to the tripod themselves, or we'll just 3D print something that these slide into to hold their weight. And then you have the remote with batteries. And the remote is just slightly different, not much, but slightly different from XGIMI remotes of the past. Now it's a nice, durable aluminum remote with a little black plastic top here with all of your buttons. And you have some of your typical options. You have your ISA trigger, so if you want to refocus everything, you have your power button, you have your Google Assistant button, and you just press hold that and say, find me cute kitten videos on YouTube. It'll take you to YouTube and find you cute kitten videos. And then you have some four shortcut buttons right here, which are really super small. But you have YouTube, you have Netflix, you have Google Prime Video, and it just says shortcut. So I guess you can program this to be whatever you want it to be. So beyond that, you have, again, your ISA button. You have your back button here. I'm going to look at the instructions to make sure I'm saying this right. I knew it. I should have known that. Not a back button. That's an input button. It's pointing this way. It's your input going into the projector. So you have your input button right there. You have free TV button to take you to the free TV feature. You have your directional pad here with an OK button in the center. You have your back button right there. Your configuration, your options, settings, menu option right there, as well as home, and then volume up and down. So it's pretty straightforward. And again, that if you ever decide that the focus is off or anything like that, just hit that autocorrect button right there, and it'll refocus your whole image and make sure everything's fine. And to get to the battery compartment, you just push that button. It just springs right out. You put 2 AAA batteries in there, slide them in. It's like loading in some ammunition there. I'll just do that again. And off you go to using your projector. And again, this is just a nice feeling remote, and it's not overly complicated. It gives you everything you need. The only thing you're missing is that if you're hoping for a universal remote to control their other devices and whatnot, you're not going to get that with XGIMI products. Most of the remotes are very simple, and that's actually quite common with a lot of TVs these days. It's kind of hard to find universal remotes anymore. You're kind of on your own to buy those separately. And if you do that, there's plenty of options out there, but that's a whole nother conversation. But moving on with everything, we're going to push all this to the side. We're going to break out the projector itself. The XGIMI Horizon 20 Max. It's got a kind of a nice mocha, I guess, maybe a brown kind of a feel to it. There's a better term than almost like a gunmetal silver, actually. It looks nice. It has a premium kind of feel to it. It says Harman Kardon on the front. On the top, it says XGIMI. And of course, it spins 360 degrees in this direction, as well as what would this be? 110 degrees, 120 degrees up and down. So that way no matter what, you have a perfect shot of whatever you're trying to get to. So if you just need to tilt it up, you need to turn it to the side or something to be able to reach a wall that's in a weird angle because of where you're able to put it. Say it's a side table or something, you can do that. Or you can just point it straight up and shoot it at the roof if you need to. But it's very user-friendly because you don't need to put this on a stand of any kind. You can just stick it anywhere. The only thing you have to consider is that when you're projecting with one of these, all of your image correction and everything is their zoom, everything's dependent upon your playing field of light. So that light needs to overwhelm whatever area you're trying to cover. Let it be on a wall or a screen. So if you're shooting at the screen, you want to make sure when it first turns on that light stretches just beyond the space of that screen. And then when it goes to correct, it corrects everything within that light space. So it's really just that maximum light space. The screen can move around and adjust and keystone and do everything it can within that space. So you just need to make sure that, distance, which is pretty much one of the biggest concerns that you would have, the distance between your screen or your wall and where you place this would be the most important. From there, it can just do the rest. Just make sure that you have the light space covering the area you want to cover, and then it'll do everything for you. Now, on the back of the projector, it looks like they brought something back, which is really nice to see. They have optical here, which is useful to have when you want to use an external sound system that isn't making use of HDMI. And then you have two USB ports. Those USB ports it looks like a USB 2.0 and a or maybe 1.0, probably 2.0, and USB 3.0. So one would be for like accessories, a keyboard or something, a mouse, and the other one is going to be for something to plug in with data on it. So if you have a bunch of movies, TV episodes, or something that let's say that you freshly ripped from one of your Blu-rays or something, and you want to put it into the back of this so you always have access to it, or a USB drive full of MP3s, since you do have Harman Kardon speakers built in, you can use that USB port for that. And then you also have the analog 3.5 millimeter TRS connection right here, or a mini connection. So that way you can do just stereo out to headphones or a stereo system, Bluetooth speaker, or not Bluetooth speaker, but standalone little speakers or something that uses a 3.5 millimeter input. And then you just have your power button, and that's it. Now for the actual power, to connect your power, you have a power connection here for the plug that this plugs into. It's just gonna slide right into that hole right there. And then from here, you go from the D plug to Edison to your wall, and you're ready to go. It does have a little protective shielding here, and that's just for shipping to make sure nothing gets scratched. But you have your lens as well as your camera here, which is used to determine the ISA correction so it can see the image and know what it's doing. So that is the XGIMI Horizon 20 Max, the company's flagship projector. New flagship projector. This is their third generation, I believe. I think it's the third generation, yes. Third generation, 3 times that they have absolutely conquered the industry with a flagship that is 100% worth buying, I'm going to assume. Again, I shouldn't be saying that. We haven't tested it yet. I guess I'm just excited because the last 2 rounds were pretty good. So the first 2 projectors were phenomenal. So this is the 3rd generation. We're going to go ahead and hook it up, and we're going to see what it looks like. Okay, so we now have it set up in one of our demo theaters that we typically test a lot of the projectors that come into us. And it is pitted against a 150-inch drop-down display screen here, and currently the lights are off. And the brightness of this projector automatically already pops, like most of XGIMI's flagship products. There's a lot of color, there's a lot of brightness, there's plenty to work with here, and we haven't really adjusted anything yet. In the settings or anything, this is just right out of the box and right after loading into Google TV. When you first turn it on, it just asks you to pair the remote in with the projector and then assign it to one of your Google accounts to determine exactly what apps you want to install, and then, of course, some of the educational quick little highlights in terms of what the projector supports, such as Google Assistant. And once you're ready, it drops you right into the home screen here, where you're able to immediately just start accessing all of these apps. And of course, since it's Google TV, you have all those wonderful Android apps that you have access to that pretty much get you to every single streaming source out there, including sports, TV, movies, news, you name it. There is an endless amount of content that you can access through the Android marketplace on Google TV, where you can enjoy all of it. And the menu system is incredibly responsive, like super fast, which is always nice to see because every generation it gets a little bit better and a little bit better. And like their first projector was their first flagship in the Horizon series was absolutely amazing. Very similar to this one, not as bright, but it offered a lot of these settings, its auto adjustments and everything. It was just spot on, except for after a while, the menu system would get a little bit sluggish. But this one is super fast, super responsive, and a lot cleaner looking as well. Going into the settings screen, you get the newer Google TV menu here, which just looks nicer, it's more simplified, and it doesn't just look like basic text. And of course, while we're in here, actually, we'll show you the ISA 5.0 technology in the act. So we've already set it up and everything. Again, it took us just a few minutes to get everything going. And while doing that, it automatically went through its automatic adjustments. We're going to tell it to do it manually. You can do it by shaking the projector, moving it, or anything like that. Or you can come into, let's see, settings, projector, image correction, and auto keystone, and watch how quickly this works. Notice how the light space was outside of the projection screen. That's so we know that what we're trying to capture is within the light space, so that way all its digital correction can happen within that light space and achieve what we're looking for. Second, did you see how fast that was? We're going to do it again. We're just going to hit the button. Watch within seconds. It auto keystones, focuses, everything just boom, done. You are now in the center of this projection screen. It was able to see the border of this projection screen clearly, all within like 1, 2, 3 seconds tops. So it's very impressive how far the technology has come, how quick it responds to everything, and of course, what XGIMI has done to bring more features and more responsiveness to the platform. But this extra brightness that we're gaining with this, remember, this is up to 5,700 lumens. It's very impressive. So let's go ahead and actually take a look at some of these lumens, or at least just the performance, the color, the darks, and everything else that this has to offer, while keeping in mind that we're trying to capture this with a camera, so it's not going to look as good as if you were sitting here and watching it like we are. So some of this you might have to just take my word for it, but it is going to look pretty cool because we've already goofed around a little bit with it. But we're going to hit Google Assistant here. Search YouTube for 4K Dolby Vision content.
Sure, here's some videos.
And it immediately, you hear it out of the speakers of the projector, or at least I don't know if you could hear it from this microphone, but it said, sure, here's some videos. I'm going to take the volume and turn it down since we may not necessarily have rights to whatever background audio is included inside these videos. So this one looks kind of interesting. It is a Dolby Vision video. So this is just a random video we clicked on here. It looks amazing. Oh, look at these colors. Oh my, that was nice. Before we even continue, let's even, oops, let's take a look at the settings here and make sure that we're actually in 4K because, yep, YouTube likes to auto it to 1080 or something else sometimes. But now we're in 4K. And the clarity of everything is amazing. I mean, look at how the colors just pop. This looks nice. And imagine watching a movie on this thing. Now, what's really nice about this is that it's low latency. It supports every format out there pretty much, allowing you to be able to make the most out of your projector no matter what media you're trying to accomplish. So let's say you're trying to watch a movie, you're trying to watch TV, or you're trying to play your favorite game. You no longer have to switch between projection and having a TV or something for video games because the projector doesn't offer that same latency you used to get with DLP projectors. The latency is incredibly low, and you can even play competitive games on projectors like these thanks to that. The response time is awesome. You're getting just a lot for just a $3,000 price point. It is a little bit higher than some of the other generations that the Horizon have brought to the market, but there have been clearly a lot more enhancements. It's a lot brighter, and you, of course, have to factor in all of the wonderful things that have affected the world lately that's caused everything to go up in price. But unfortunately, that just means, higher price point for some of these projectors, but still falls in way under, or at least somewhat under to way under some of the competition out there of some of the big name, the names that you're used to, like LG and Epson and Sony and JVC and some of these other brands that have been well established in the industries for decades in some cases. And here's XGIMI just stomping right in and just claiming their space. And it's going to be enough of an act on their part to make it incredibly difficult for some of these bigger brands to shoo them away. This definitely invites XGIMI to the big table, and this projector is just another example to how they have been able to accomplish that. And proof of that. So let's go ahead, and this is with the lights off. Let's go ahead and turn the lights on now. And we're gonna bring all the lights on in the room. Now this is dome lighting along with some down lights and some extras we'll go ahead and turn on just for effect. But this shows you that even with all the lights on in a normal living room experience or another room in your house, along with a few extra lights, let's say you have a window open or something like that, even with all of those variables in the mix, this image is super bright and incredibly clear from all angles. Obviously it's projection and not a TV screen that's gonna have limited angling to it, but it just pops so that you can use this in the middle of the day with all your windows open, or you can use it at night. And no matter what you do, you're gonna get an amazing response out of it. You're gonna enjoy all the content that you're trying to watch. So we'll back out of this one. Let's see, we'll go ahead and try this guy. And right as this one started, you see it switched to the top left to HDR10. It realized that this had an HDR profile attached to the video, or it was shot with that profile, and YouTube preserved it. And then of course the projector sees it and goes, hey, I'm gonna switch this profile to HDR10 because that's what the author of this content had originally intended for it to be seen in. And the same thing's gonna apply for Dolby Vision. The other video was Dolby Vision. It didn't pop up with Dolby Vision, so it might not have been a true Dolby Vision profile on the YouTube video, and or maybe with the new projector, it's a little bit more quieter in terms of its switching. But usually it'll say it up in the top left or top right, what mode you're in. And it also offers IMAX Enhanced as well. So that one, for some reason, comes turned off by default, and you just have to turn that on. I'm unsure why that's on by default, but if you just come into your advanced settings, see your filmmaker mode there is also off by default. You can go to IMAX Auto Detected, and you can just turn that on. And now when you play IMAX Enhanced content, it should automatically detect that and put that on the screen. And again, keeping in mind, all of everything that you're seeing here, oops, I hit home, wrong button, but everything that you were seeing there, you see if it'll go right back. Probably not. But all the content that you were seeing, this is based on what the camera is able to see, based on the settings on the camera. We try to dial it in as much as possible, but every projector, every scenario is always different. You might see some lines crawling up the screen. That's just a difference in refresh rate between what you're seeing on the screen and what the camera's recording in. So sometimes you'll see lines going up and down because of that, and that's just a conflict of refresh rates there. But this, so far, has been amazing. It's just everything pops so well, and it's gonna be just a fantastic choice for your favorite movie night experiences. So this is just another perfect example of why XGIMI just continues to deliver a surprising product, an impressive product, every single time they have something new to launch into the industry, and why it keeps shaking things up and creating more commotion around their name. XGIMI, like them or love it, they're here to stay, and they are here for a spot at the big table. So there you have it. Again, XGIMI Horizon 20 Max, flagship from the company that offers just about everything in a surprisingly small projector, a small footprint. This is a nice projector. It has a lot going for it. It's fast, it's got all the apps you can ever ask for, since it's got Google TV on there, so it's like having an Android phone do all the work for you. And you even have access to Netflix because of this. You have Google Home. You have all of this, and all for a $3,000 price point. Now, it's not going to be available on Amazon yet. It is only available from XGIMI, so we're going to have a link in the description where you'll be able to find this. Right now, it seems like they're still working on their pre-orders. It looks like it dates back to like September. They're trying to get those out, and that's including in this month. They're still trying to get those orders out, so that tells you that the pre-order phase for this projector might have been a little bit more popular than the company had expected. So right now on Amazon, you can get the Horizon 20 and the Horizon 20 Pro, I believe, right? I think both of them are available. Yes, both of them are available on Amazon. You can get those two. Those are two steps down from, or at least the two models down from this model. But the Max, which is their flagship of that flagship line, this one is still, it's just a little too popular. So they're still trying to push through the orders, or at least be able to ship on those orders from the pre-order phase. So the only place you can buy this right now is XGIMI's website. So again, we're going to have that in the description, in the link, in a link below, and you'll be able to find it from there, put your name on the list, and hopefully you'll get it before the end of the year. I'm going to assume probably once they get things moving faster and they accommodate for the increase in popularity and start pushing more units out of their factory, then you'll get it pretty quick. But until then, they're probably doing their best, and I would say probably by the end of this year, hopefully. So we'll have the link in the description, as well as any other information that we can possibly think of. If you liked what you've seen here, don't forget to subscribe and follow us, as well as tick the like button for this video so we know that you like this specific video. And of course, use the comment section below where you can ask questions or engage in comments with us, with each other, or even the manufacturer in case XGIMI is watching. And as always, we thank you for watching, and we'll catch you next time. If you want to stay on top of all the latest and greatest, and or at least the gadgets we cover, remember to subscribe right here. Subscription button. Click it. You're going to want to. There's lots of videos, interviews, previews, all sorts of stuff. Button. Click it.